Welcome to European Parliamentary Research Service podcast on nutrition labelling schemes in EU member states.
To help consumers make healthier food choices, the European Commission wants producers of food and drinks to display clear nutritional information on the front of pack. But this may not be so simple.
Some member states have already introduced their own labelling schemes to mark healthy products, but will the EU win the battle at a European scale? Stay with us, it's about your health.
With half of adults in the EU being overweight and with many health problems related to our diet, making the healthy choice the easy choice for consumers could be one of the solutions.
And it's in this spirit that many EU countries have introduced voluntary labelling schemes to help consumers to identify healthier products at a glance.
Under the current EU rules, displaying nutrition information on the front of packaging is not mandatory, but can be provided on a voluntary basis. And labels are not only meant to help consumers, but also to encourage the food industry to produce healthier products.
Consumer organisations and health NGOs have largely supported such schemes, but the food and drink industry warns that 1. These schemes may be oversimplified and can mislead consumers, and 2. These different labels in different member states can be just too confusing.
This is why the European Commission, in its new Farm to Fork strategy, launched in May 2020, announced that it would propose a mandatory and harmonised front-of-pack nutrition labelling scheme system by the end of 2022.
But before we get there, let's look at what current EU rules say.
Current EU rules oblige food and drink producers to give consumers basic information on the content of specific products, such as a list of ingredients and potential allergens, and a nutritional declaration, which is often on the back of the package, with the energy value and the amounts of fat, saturated fat, carbs, sugar, protein and salt contained in the food and expressed per 100 grams or millilitres.
Increasingly, this mandatory labelling is being complemented by voluntary repetition of the main elements on the front of the packaging.
Indeed, the idea behind this so-called front-of-pack labelling is to quickly guide consumers in the moment of truth when they reach for a product on the supermarket shelf. For with an increasingly wide array of product choices, it can be difficult for consumers to know if they're making the right call when looking for the healthiest option.
So what kind of front-of-pack schemes are being used in the EU?
Well, currently there are several schemes. In Sweden, Denmark and Lithuania, for instance, they use the keyhole logo, a food label that identifies healthier products that contain less sugars and salt, more fibre and whole grain, and less fat than other food products from the same type.
In Finland and Slovenia, heart and cardiovascular health associations grant low-fat, salt and sugar food items with a special heart symbol to be displayed on the front of the pack.
In France, a colour-coded Nutri-Score scheme ranks products from A to E and from dark green to dark orange according to their overall nutritional quality.
Spain and Belgium adopted the same scheme in 2018, and Germany, Luxembourg and the Netherlands may also do so. The question is, do people look at these labels?
Well, studies carried out by the European Commission suggest they do, especially those using colour coding, and they have also proved instrumental in encouraging companies to develop healthier products.
The Commission report on the use of labelling schemes also concludes that using different front-of-pack schemes in the internal market can be confusing for consumers and expensive for businesses. That's why many member states and stakeholders agree with the Commission on the need to develop one single label to be used by all producers and in all EU member states in the future.
The Commission should come up with a proposal by the end of 2022, and it will need some time to assess the pros and cons of all the different front-of-pack options.
The European Parliament has generally been very supportive of any efforts by the Commission to improve food labelling and give consumers better information about the food they eat. So let's stay tuned for upcoming debates on this topic.
You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcast.